All right, ladies and gentlemen, 5 tips to be a superior linguist. So I actually came up with this idea as I was traveling around the beautiful, majestic Lake Superior. And as you probably know, there are 5 Great Lakes. No offense meant to the other ones, but it would be a little weird to say 5 tips to be an Erie interpreter. There are already too many Erie interpreters around, those who are incompetent and misinterpret. And by the way, this isn't just for interpreters, it's for translators and interpreters because these are general tips. And we wouldn't want to say 5 tips to be a Huron linguist because then people would think of Native American tongues. It might sound beautiful to say Ontarian interpreter, except I don't know what it means, and Michiganian just sounds funny. So let's stick to superior. All right, these are not necessarily the 5 divine commandments or anything like that. It's just something that I came up with. And in fact, I came up with different things when I was traveling and I lost the list. So I came up with it just now. But anyway, my first tip is definitely not reinventing the bicycle or the wheel. And it's pretty simple, but it's pretty potent. And the tip is just read. Read quality books. Why? Because you get erudition and you will, if you don't know, you will learn what the 5 Great Lakes are, but you'll learn a great many things more, and you'll pick up on words that you didn't know or semi-knew, or, like for example, I just learned this word holm in English. In Russian, the word holm means hill, but in English, it means islet, a little island near the shore in a river, a lake, or maybe an ocean, but it means an island, so where else would you hear the word holm? So, and reading is just inspirational. You learn different viewpoints, you learn tidbits, cultural tidbits, and you learn new words. And it's great for translators and interpreters alike. All right, next one is a little bit controversial, and people might argue with me, but I love that. Please argue with me in the comments if you want to. But once in a while, take on pro bono jobs. Why do I say that? Because sometimes we get in the rut and on the treadmill of our profession, and we have to make money and make money and make money, and we forget about why we got into the profession in the first place and that we actually love it. And once in a while I'll do this if I like the person or their attitude. I'm not talking about a book project, although I have done 2 book projects pro bono and 1 almost pro bono. But if I like the person and their attitude, I might just do it for free and enjoy it as much as they can, and just it'll be a nice gesture. If it's a guy, it'll be an amicable gesture. If it's a girl, it'll be a chivalrous gesture. And why not? So, if you feel like it. Lawyers do it. Why are we any worse? All right. Next one, don't ever settle for mediocrity. And this sounds like, this beautiful general concept that some inspirational speaker would say, but I actually mean it specifically. And how do you not settle for mediocrity specifically? Well, if you know that there is a step you can take that will make the translation or interpretation better, then you have to do it. And if that step is feasible in the circumstances, like for example, I have a rule that I always check my own translations. I review them twice and I edit them for style at least once, and then somebody proofreads them. So if I've checked it once and somebody else has checked it, and if I know that another review by me will make it better, then I do it. Or if, for example, just in a recent deposition, I slightly misinterpreted a word. In one sentence it was conceptual, in another sentence I think it was stylistic, and it wouldn't have made the slightest difference, but at the end of the deposition I just said I'd like to correct something for the record. It was as much for my professional pride as for the deposition itself, So with every nuance, every sentence, every document, every interpretation, do the absolute best job that you can under the circumstances. And that makes you grow, that makes you a professional, and that keeps your professional pride high up in the constellation. Next one is also super duper important, and that's dig into words, clear up words, clarify words, because words are the building blocks of languages, and we could and did go into this for hours in my webinars. But just become a lover of words. There's a separate clip on this, and you can watch it if you want to. We'll put it somewhere here, somewhere. But don't bypass them. Love them. Dig into the nuances and the differences and so forth. Like just recently, I saw two words. I don't remember what they are. I wish I could give you an example, but they seemed very similar. And I wanted to know the difference, so I looked at the difference. And sometimes there is no real difference in the meanings, but the difference comes from the derivation. And then you can understand, oh, originally this word meant this and this word meant this. And then you kind of have a more higher understanding of the word. So that's actually one of my secrets is I love, love, love words. I don't do this as much anymore. Maybe I should, but I used to have like, sometimes I would just sit for half an hour with my nose in the dictionary and sort out the definitions of words. And see, I'm still kicking and breathing and rational and competent, although I'm sure a lot of people would argue with that proviso or statement, but whatever. And my last one is actually as general and self-explanatory as the first one, but the first one was about a mental habit of reading, and the last one is about a physical habit, which is though also mental and spiritual exercise. You know, the Romans said, mens sana in corpore sana, in a healthy body, a healthy mind. And this is very, very true. Whether you be a translator or an interpreter, there is strenuous stress on the body, right? And exercise keeps this machine in good shape, and it keeps you motivated, and it is also action. And action is a very uplifting activity, and voila. So these are the 5 tips. Read, once in a while do pro bono jobs, don't ever settle for mediocrity, clarify words, exercise, and tip number 6 is read Vladimir's book, and write me your impressions, and share these videos, and always write me in the comments what else you'd like to hear about, and be the best linguist you can be. See you in the next video.